Hi, okay, so of course my video cut off again, and I've decided to come downstairs. It was getting really hot up there. I thought I'd walk around down here below. I've got dogs barking in the neighborhood and cars driving up, and anyway, so bums me out when that happens because my train of thought gets knocked off. But we were talking about these ones that are experiencing a breakdown, and it isn't exactly what it appears. Sometimes it manifests itself in ways. It manifests itself like bipolar. It manifests itself in delusions. You'll have delusions, or you think you are because you're hearing voices, or you're having visions shown to you, prophetic dreams. Your body's vibrating. There's all these different things that are happening. Everybody goes through different things. But family members are very concerned, and people that don't understand, people that aren't spiritual, or people don't understand their awakening process, also the ones that are going through it themselves are concerned because they're thinking, am I going crazy? You're not going crazy. I posted something about this just yesterday, and I've got family members writing to me saying, stop feeding my family BS, and I'm just, they're sick, and I'm like, they're not sick. They're not sick. It's happening all the way across the world, and it wouldn't be happening in such a widespread way. Everyone isn't all of a sudden gonna have a nervous breakdown. Everyone isn't all of a sudden gonna get manic depressive or bipolar or has suffered delusions. It's happening because the Kundalini is awakened, and there's a process that your body and your mind is going through. And if you don't understand it, and you don't know how to work with it, and you don't work with it as far as how you're supposed to handle it, you're supposed to keep yourself, I said, away from any kind of drugs. And that's the worst thing, is that they'll start feeding you drugs. They've literally sent people, friends that I know have been taken and encouraged to go to the hospital, to a mental hospital, to have themselves checked out, and then the first thing that happens is they start giving them pharmaceutical drugs. And when drugs enter your system, when there's nothing wrong with your mind, it messes your mind up worse, and then you've got the delusional things happening. I've walked through it with people. I've like I said, ones that I love. I know I've lived with people that have schizoaffective disorder, that have bipolar, that are manic depressive. And if you're a super sensitive one, which means somebody who's come in already with gifts. I came in with gifts when I was a child, and I'm sensitive, and I'm getting much more sensitive, but I wasn't classed as a super sensitive, whereas these ones are super sensitive already. These are people who may have already had borderline issues with depression, bipolar, manic depression, things like that. They already had that kind of or extreme introversion. I have become more and more of an introvert. Spirit has literally shifted to the point where this bubbly, outgoing, person that was amongst all these people and wanting to be around people all the time, I don't. It used to be that I couldn't be alone. I didn't want to be alone, and now I don't want anybody around me. It's kind of like switched me to where I'm actually more of an introvert. So there's a big change that's gone through my entire system and through my way of thinking, and I'm in order to help heal this and help you go through this process that's happening to you, instead of feeding you full of drugs and telling you that there's something wrong with you, that you're crazy. You're supposed to spend time in meditation. Yoga helps to align your chakras and work through these energies in your body. Stay away from processed foods. There's so many foods that are filled with hormones that are going to whack you out as it is. And also your awakening, I got to tell you this one thing. Your awakening generally happens later in life. So there's women who are going through menopause as it is. So they're all of the hormones are already going out of whack, and then now you're going to introduce drugs into their system while their body and their mind is going through this metamorphosis. It's going to confuse everything and make everything even more stressful for your body to handle. So that's why Spirit literally took me out. They took me to a place of nature. I would go out in the daytime after I did my readings, and I studied. I studied all the time, but I would climb up into the mountains. I'd ride my bike. I was always in nature. So Spirit is always encouraging us to get out in nature as much as possible. That is what helps balance us. It gets us more grounded, because if this awakening process, we're flying up and into heaven, and we need to get more grounded. We need to literally be on hands in the dirt, feet on the soil. And so here you've got these people that are being sent and locked up in hospitals with medicine shoved down their throats that is making them feel like they're crazy, and they're not crazy. And it's understandable, of course, that the family members don't understand what's happening, and they're not trying to hurt you, but they don't understand either. So that's why we're speaking about this, so that we can help one another go through this process and enlighten other people to the fact that you're not losing your mind. Your wife, your son, your daughter is not going crazy. They're gifted. And if they came in as super sensitives, it's going to be even more difficult for them. So they need to be loved. They need compassion. They need love. They need kindness. They need quiet. They need peaceful surroundings. They need natural foods, raw foods. They need to stay away from drugs, from alcohol. All of that exasperates the situation. There's articles that I've posted on it. You can look it up. It's called Kundalini Madness. It will explain it to you, what people are going through. I'm not going to go on and on. I just had to address it, because I literally am getting, like I said, I'm getting people blasting my page. They're putting posts on the wall. You know, you're feeding my wife full of all this stuff, and she's sick, and I've got friends that actually voluntarily went into the hospital to show their family that, you know, there's nothing wrong with me. Look, I can handle this. But once they got into the hospital, they were forced to take medication, and it was very, very hard for the system. We don't want to have people sent to the medical hospital or to a mental hospital and be locked up. It's traumatic. This is already traumatic enough. You know, we don't need this to be happening. Now, it's not to say that there aren't people that have conditions such as this, but for this to come on just like this suddenly and to be happening to so many people, it's an awakening process. So open your minds to it being something other than what you think that it is. Of course, the medical doctor is going to push pills on you. That's what they do for everything. I am so not about that. You know, go the natural way. There's so many natural herbs. Even as far as menopause, women, doctors want to give you medical pills, you know, the pharmaceutical pills. No thanks. There's all kinds of natural ways to do this so that your body is gently guided through this time of transformation. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, but I had to speak about it, and it's something that needs to be addressed. So we've got several cards, and I don't know how long this is going to this recording is going to hold up before it knocks me off again. But let's see, how do I do this? I'm gonna set this up, and I'm gonna hold the camera like this, and hopefully the wind won't blow it away. So here we have Healer of Emotion. This is our first card, and the Healer of Emotion is saying it's time to follow your heart, feel the fullness of your emotions. They're talking about, you know, we have the you might be feeling compelled to take care of other people. But you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. This is a time when flashes of intuition are going to be giving you incredible insights. They're speaking about a person that's coming in or that's in your life that is very kind, tender-hearted, loving. This is a trustworthy friend. And there we go, blew it away. So basically, they're saying, you know, especially with what's going on right now, so many of us are wanting to help and to be there for other people, but when we're all going through this awakening process, even in, you know, we're not going to be finished. It continues. We continue to go through this process, so we definitely need to baby ourselves. We need to make sure that we're getting enough rest. We're not getting rest with the awakening process. We're having difficulty sleeping. So make sure, if you have to have naps, take naps. You know, do whatever you have to do. Pull yourself out, like I said, out of the busy areas and keep to a more private area. Spend as much time as you can outside. Stay away from any energies or people around that are negative or that are bringing you down. It talks about a time when this is coming. It talks about a time when family members and friends are very cherished for you, and also that your love is kind of like you're spreading it to everyone. It's coming out, and you're you've got like a light, a compassionate, loving light that you're sending out, a healing energy that you're sending to other people. So it's a very wonderful time. If they talk to you about a person, they're talking about a person whose arms are always open, someone who's always giving, right? Somebody who's very sensitive, somebody who's empathetic, somebody who would know what to do and understand problems before they even are told, because they intuitively pick up on it. It's kind of like a fairy godmother who's going to wave a wand and make it better. So this could be a person that's coming into your life. Additional meanings: you're a spiritual teacher, you're an emotional counselor. It also talks about, because of the fact that you are empathetic and intuitive, the empathetic people are picking up on other people's energies, and it's very taxing to us. It's very hard for me. My energy is pulled a lot because I'm open. And it's a reminder to keep your walls, not your walls, your shield up. So, and clear your shield, you know, whenever you've been around other people, other energies. And it doesn't necessarily mean somebody's bad, but everybody carries their own stuff. And as empaths, we pick it up. And so it's talking about clearing that energy so that you can keep yourself healthy. It's also talking about setting up proper boundaries and knowing when to say no, you know, when enough is enough. It also talks about that soon there'll be a very trustworthy friend coming into your life, someone that cares very much for you. Or maybe there is somebody there and they're giving you a kind of a nudge that this is the one we're speaking about here. So that's the first message. The second message is talking about, I'm dropping all of my cards. I hope you guys can see this. A win-win situation. Okay, so they're asking you for you to come about, figure out a win-win situation. You see these two